Mike and Patsy's ownership of their property, and if they remove their ownership and set it back to King Kamehameha III,
then the Regis is gone too.
Yeah, the Regis is gone too, and Mike and Patsy are the caretakers of that property.
Interesting.
So we have a really interesting scenario going on here.
And it seems to be doing well.
I know, it's beautiful. And part of what I do is manage and take care of the endangered species here. To make sure that Mike and Patsy, everything they're doing is in best interest of the wildlife and the reefs, and that's why they let me live here for free and pay electricity and all that kind of stuff. And then I have basically a free run of the property, and I study.
And a nice view.
Yeah, oh God. You know, I've got the
with the waterfalls.
You know, I got the $5 home with the $5 million view.
Yeah. Now these do they rent these little houses?
Yes, yeah, they rent all these houses out. And so that's pretty much my deal. Now, the reason that Mike and I have come together on this coral reef
Where does
study,
Mike live?
He's got a beautiful home up on the mountains up above Honolulu. And then he lives when he's here, just in a trailer right on the top. This is his home kind of.
Yeah.
Patsy lives.
I'm staying in his trailer. So.
You're staying in there.
Mike's really.
I heard there's no shower.
Yeah, Mike's low key. He doesn't really care about any of this stuff. He's had about everything in the world he could ever think of.
I've got a mango shack with an outdoor shower.
I know, that's kind of where all.
And did you stay in the mango shack or in the cottage?
No, the mango shack.
You stayed there, yeah.
We're all kind of the same.
That mango shack is more popular than the house.
I know.
The outdoor shower.
And Mike really is a caretaker of the property here, and one of the issues, the big issues that we've had here is on the other side of the river and the upper river, people have been draining the wetland, private people and the government, and doing developments and diggings, which has really screwed a lot of the endangered species. It's also pumped mud and toxins out onto the reef, but what else it's done is when
it's just the same old story.
Everywhere. I know, it is.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a really good benefit to this. Let me I'll finish, because there's a wonderful benefit to the whole picture here. That this whole area here gets flooded under 8 feet of water. You would be washed away if you were right here. And it gets all flooded, and junk from town ends up in the fish pond. I've spent hundreds of hours cleaning up everything from toys to boat trailers out of the pond and off the reef every year. Because of the people upriver that have destroyed the wetland that's supposed to absorb the flood waters. But now it doesn't, and it goes through town, and so this has really interfered with everybody in the community, this upset of the ecosystem. Now, the positive, which well, lots of people, because we have now media stories every day on television, every day on news, every day on radio. People are finally getting a grip. We've got the top scientists from around the world here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make a model of how to clean up a coastal community and how to live sustainable, how to study our marine environment from the land all the way out to the reefs.
And Mike is supporting this, and he's got basically control of this.
Yeah, he's got control. And so what we're going to do is we're going to develop a model here on how to live in a coastal community with a lot of problems.
Was his name Bill at the barbecue? What was the guy's name?
Jim Law, probably?
Jim.
Yeah.
Is that what he was talking about?
Yep, and he's working with. We've got a whole community that we're going to build back here on the property. And that community is going to be a mobile, sustainable aquaponics. We grow our own food. We're off the grid. We have solar power. But the key is we're on a coast.
And then you have to have tours so people come.
I know, absolutely.
And you need a conference center.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oyster mushrooms for
100%.
biofilters.
That's why we want the Marine Educational Center.
So I just met the guy who's doing this, but he's in China at the base of the Great Wall.
Yeah.
And I brought 60 internet people to him.
Yeah.
To get the propaganda and everything.
Oh yeah.
And we walked in the whole village and everything, and he's doing what you're talking about.
Yeah.
For about 15 years he's been doing
but the thing is,
his name is also Jim Spear.
The thing is here that's the catalyst, okay, is we've got right now about, I don't know, I'm talking to the TV stations and all the media and the LA Times. told me there's been over 2.5 million people that have been viewing my coral disease study out here worldwide. It was on the front cover of the Marinette, which is the biggest nonprofit group in all of Europe. So
I just read that.
Yeah, so we've got, so what we're doing is the model that we produce here is going to be out there in the media, okay? Because of this coral disease and everybody, not everyone, but many people in the world loving and knowing Hanalei.
Are you worried about the impact of another couple of million people coming here?
Yeah, of course, but that's all kind of part why we're all convening here, okay? Like John, his expertise, and all these other folks that are coming here to...
People are discovering it anyway. They're discovering it anyway.
They are, but what this is the perfect Skinner box. This is a perfect model because of two things. People worldwide know and love Hanalei. Number two, we have the worst coral disease that's ever been found on the planet here. So those two things make a sense of urgency, and people know Hanalei.
And it's media-wise, the pictures are so stunning.
Absolutely.
People are going to pay attention.
Absolutely. So we have the visual images, whether it be underwater or whether it be this view right here. So we have the visual images. So we're convening people together here to put funds into the model. We've got NOAA, we've got the University of Hawaii, we've got all of these people worldwide now convening here saying, okay, this is a spot. Let's put our expertise, okay, it's much or more than money. Let's put our expertise here. Let's make professional videos. Let's do all the scientific tests. Let's clean up the environment. Let's figure out the problems. And let's make a world-class model out of Hanalei. Now, we can use that anywhere in the world. Because all throughout the world, the coastal ecosystem, no matter, you can be Manhattan Beach or Venice, it doesn't matter.
So people will come here to see and learn and replicate.
And exactly, then we can make that and we can duplicate that. It's
actually great that there's that type of hotel nearby.
Oh, I totally agree. 100%.
People need that. They kind of, they do need that.
The manager,
I don't need that, but people need that.
Stephanie Reed, the manager of the hotel right up there to St. Regis, has 3 beautiful daughters, 2 of which were in my school classes.
Oh.
And we're getting together next week to talk about how the hotel can help promote this entire project here. And we can do 2 things. We can clean up the environment and take good care of it, and we can make money at the same time.
And is the hotel, have they started on their path towards, some sustainable stuff?
No.
But that could be, that'll help.
That's my hope, is kind of helping them along that path.
Yeah.
See, what's happened is people look at it, just like I was talking to the gal.
It's a win-win. You're taking green and you're making it.
Absolutely, and I call it environmental capitalism, and it's making money off doing something good for the environment. So I'm gently bringing the St. Regis along. It's saying, okay, they could look at it 2 ways, like she has. She goes,
historically, the environmentalists and the big hotel owners are
yeah, exactly. So she could look at what we're talking. You could look at it 2 ways. I could go, Stephanie, you can look at it in a short-term effect. Mr. Lilly is documenting a coral disease in front of your hotel that people are not going to want to come stay in your hotel because of this coral disease. So your income is going to go down in the people staying at the hotel. Or you can look at it in the way that the St. Regis is helping clean up and make the environment here totally pristine. So people then around the world would love to come and stay in your hotel.
You feel so good about paying $600 a night.
Exactly, because I'm going to be giving a talk there every night, and you got on your TV station that part of the money that they spend is going to keeping Hanalei beautiful, clean, and pristine.
Maybe they can even build not an aquarium, but like a sample thing for the people to see that entices them to go out and see more.
Here, you can use this one in your business big time.
Okay.
In Central Coast, California, I did a study where most of the time when I was hired to do endangered species studies, it was by developers, and I got the development approved. opposite of what people would look at maybe with a Sierra Club or someone that's always trying to keep development at bay. Now,
It's funny you bring this to
one of the
because I recently had an interaction.
okay, and I do too all the time. One of the ones that was really fun. It was a winery that they wanted to build in Santa Maria, California, and the winery was in an area that had an endangered salamander, the tiger salamander. Now, what they did is they hired me to see how many of these endangered salamanders were on the area of the winery. I know. And so what it turned out to be, of their 40 acres, only a little bit of the corner had these endangered salamanders. Now, Fish and Wildlife said you can't build your winery because this endangered salamander is on your property. So what I did is I went out and did a very comprehensive study. I got to know all the salamanders, where they live, where they go, all their names, had a negotiation with all the salamanders. And so I came back to the wine owners, or the ones that wanted to build it, and I said, would you be willing to take 10% of your property and let me develop a better habitat for all of the salamanders so they can convene here, have more babies, and there'll be more salamanders down the road. And that was absolutely acceptable to them because it was very little money compared to what they'd invested. Well, they ended up then, I got it approved with Fish and Wildlife.
This is perfect.
Now get this. They ended up building their winery with a beautiful deck
to view the salamander.
Looking over his swamp, and they had salamander Chardonnay. and get this, and they had the first eco wines.
People loved it.
Oh, and people came and sat on the deck and drank salamander Chardonnay to no end because they knew that, and a big sign there that said how every glass of wine you drink.
People are good. You just have to reach that little part.
I totally agree.
The customer.
Yeah.
You know, it's about the love, huh?
It is, and free enterprise is really good.
You have to approach the customer and say, we know that you love salamanders.
Yeah.
That's why we've done all blah, blah.
Yeah.
And they respond.
Yeah, they will. And that's going to happen every time.
That equates to money, bottom line.
Absolutely. People will stay in the hotel. People will buy a car. People will do everything they do, and if they can be shown that the folks that are selling whatever they're selling are giving a percentage back to the environment and dealing with it with good modern day science, people are going to go that direction with their dollars every single time.
You know, the Fortune 100s all have their chief sustainability officer.
I know, it's good. Yeah, isn't that incredible?
Yeah. So you can actually call them up because it used to be the CEO was no, that's costing me money, that doesn't make me money. Get away.
I know.
And the marketing people were like, we can't really market that because it doesn't make us money, you know. So you could never. But now with these chief sustainability officers, it's still pretty rough and prehistoric. You know, it's getting better.
Well, my hope is we can develop this as a model for all of those folks and show how you can get along with nature, and you can give back a percentage, and you can understand your environment.
I'll point because a big audience that we're just of ours that we're just are these corporates.
Yeah.
And you know, the Fortune 100, 500, whatever. Well, eventually we're gonna get them all. I actually am buddies now with. Are you videotaping? I'm not gonna name names.
Okay. It's called editing.
Okay. Anyway, there's an association that these sustainability officers join, and the guy who one of the founders of that association is help us reach these corporates because we need them to have those green names.
I agree. 100%.
Because they're already presenting themselves in greener ways in the things that they're doing. So what I need to do is explain to them, no, you're never saying you're green. No one's going to buy into that.
Yeah, I agree.
But what you're doing is you're presenting the green things that you're doing. Like you want the St. Regis to do some green activity and some green things for the salamander or whoever's living here. And that's what they can put on their .green site.
I agree with 100%.
They're not saying, oh, we're 100% green. No, but this is how much. And the beautiful thing is, you know, that the internet and the websites is that analytics. So when everyone keeps clicking on their green site and they realize their .greens get a lot more traffic than their .coms, it's the people making the shift.
You know what's
through clicks.
You're absolutely. But you know what's
I can't wait. And most people can't. They don't.
You know what's so easy to present with that?
Anyway, I got frustrated because it's long.
I understand, but it does take
Yeah.
long. What I find incredibly easy is to give the people two scenarios, and I love doing it.
Drink salamander Chardonnay,
No,
or go drink Gallo from
Exactly,
the valley where
exactly.
they import water or whatever.
Just say, if you're going to Google,
People are going to click on the salamander
I
site.
totally agree. If you're going to Google your vacation to Kauai that you want to do for your dream vacation, or come here to get married, or come here to bring your kids, or come and enjoy this incredibly beautiful environment.
Yeah.
And there's two hotels that spark your interest because they both look over the bay and they're both beautiful. And one of the hotels says, we feature every Tuesday night our own staff marine biologists to educate everyone about our marine environment out here in Kauai. Come and see the beautiful whales and the sea urchins and the sea turtles. And even if you want to have a private tour with the sea turtles with your kids.
Yeah.
And the other hotel just says we got a beautiful environment, and they're the same price. Which one are you going to go to?
Right. I'm going to go to the one that says the pool house is decorated with photos of the local marine biologists.
Absolutely, exactly.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Totally.
It's just that simple.
No, it's beautiful. It's great.
People love it. Nowadays, most all consumers
You
that
know who
I
really
find,
loves it?
I agree.
I just came back from China, and those people, they're that, all of that that's going on there. It's not that the people want that.
I know.
They do want to join the economic first world and all that, but they're suffering.
I know. I agree.
They want.
100%.
They told us. We went and we met them, and we met the leaders. There's a green movement there, even though it's communist.
They're understanding what in Beijing smog hour is in the afternoon, where everyone has to go indoors for 3 hours.
That's actually why I'm here. It was part of my cleansing.
Yeah, that's what LA was in the 1970s.
So bad, but they say we want clean air, clean water, we want our children safe, and they have some major food scares. Major. I mean, while we were there, 1,000 pigs washed up on the. I don't know if you heard that. Yeah. Nobody knows why the pigs died. You know, all just walking in the river. The water's all contaminated. 5-star hotels couldn't drink the water.
When I got back from the Philippines.
And Lojas is booming. Lojas lifestyle hotel is booming. It's a huge group in China. I mean, met the leader, and he's best friends with the leader up in Portland, Hawaii. He sponsored his event, so it was like perfect. I didn't even do that on purpose. I just, I'm like, oh my gosh, hey, we just sponsored his blah, blah, blah. So he came, he joined us on the Great Wall.
Wow.
And spoke to all my internet people for me. It was very cool because I'm infiltrating another industry.
Show people how to make a profit off protecting the environment. It's easy to do. It can be done everywhere. Everywhere.
I love what we're talking about. I love this model. I see it. I totally I get it and I see it. And it's almost astounding that it's not already here.
I know. I agree with you 100%.
So it's a perfect match, and it looks.
Well, let me backtrack for a second.
When people see this, they want to know it's lasting.
Let me backtrack for a second.
Yeah.
This model has been here for 1,800 years.
Oh, okay.
In Hawaii,
the Kuleana
in Hawaii here, it was called the Ahupua'a system of taking care of the environment. Ahupua'a. What it basically is studying the first drop of water that lands on the top of the mountain up there, or Molokama, how it flows down the river. Actually, that's Hi'imani there. That's the Molokama. Mount Waialeale is over there.
Okay, that's the wettest.
Yeah, wettest place in the world. Now, when you have
you got married at the base of that.
Oh, yeah.
And there was pure sunshine, not a cloud in the sky.
I know.
And I think it rains 364 days a year.
Yeah, it does.
And March 21st, 1987, it didn't rain that day.
You're very lucky. So look at the waterfall there, and it takes about 1 hour and 45 minutes from the drop of water from the top of the mountain to come right down.
1 hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, through the river.
How do you know that?
Because they've actually done dives out there.
Okay.
And the USGS has meters along the whole way to warn us when there's a flash flood down here.
Okay, so they need to know.
Yeah, so about 1 hour. So if it rains 10 inches up there and doesn't rain here, we may be 5 feet underwater right here in 1 hour and 45 minutes. So we have this massively changing environment here.
Because 10 inches there, it concentrates.
Funnels right down here.
Mm-hmm.
If we had right up there with no rain right here, we could have 10 inches up there
Yeah, that's the
in the next hour or two and be floods right here.
That's what you worry about when you hike that
Yes, exactly.
Kauai.
And then, so you have what the old Hawaiians knew here for right here is over 1,800
They would just
years.
look up there and go, okay, we got about an hour.
Well, they had people that studied up there, the kahunas that studied the waterfalls and the mountains and the plants and the streams up there would communicate with the kahunas, which they called the experts, that would study the birds, the animals, the flatlands, the fish in the fish pond. Absolutely. And then they would study the kahunas that would study the river mouth, and then the ones that would study the fish and the reef. All of these people connected with each other all the time, and they knew that what happened up there in an hour and 45 minutes could affect what you're doing down here. Now, different than most places in the world, geographic regions here in Hawaii are not designed like along the coast or inland or mountain. They're designed parallel from the top of the mountain in transects called kuleanas down to the sea.
The waterways?
Yeah, basically.
Well, but all water takes the shortest path, right?
Yeah, I understand. But they understood that if they wanted to figure out what was going on right here at the Fishpond, or what was going on in the bay, they need to understand what's going on the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
And so,
look at in there.
Well, I know. We'll get this. For 1,800 years is one of the longest cultures anywhere in the world of humans taking care of their environment in a sustainable way. And so what we're kind of doing is not inventing something new, but using modern technology, bringing back something very old and ancient of a better way of taking care of our environment, and integrating that with modern technology and science here, then using the internet, .green, all of this stuff, to be able to duplicate this and spread this message around the planet on a good way to pull this off along our coastal community.
I love it.
Yeah, and I just think this is the greatest place to do it because of what you're looking at right here. It's so beautiful.
It has the attention, the international attention.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, with millions of people looking at our projects here every day, it definitely has the international
the whole thing,
attention.
I mean, we've always said this whole thing should be a national monument.
Yeah. Listen to the birds, too.
I mean, this is a Yosemite, Yellowstone,
it is. Oh,
Woods
yes,
kind of a thing.
Absolutely.
And I could tell you all the birds. Papa Shama right over there.
You know, I think as this develops, what we almost need to do is with these families, low cost, right there, we need to make an arrangement with the government and that says our heirs can continue to live and maintain and all that, but if our heirs die out, it's national.
Well, Mike,
it's like public land.
Mike already with me on 90% of the property over here. We would love nothing more than to have this be picked up by the federal government as a national wildlife refuge.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
And I'm working right now with NOAA and USGS and all them at having this as a permanent research center here. So that's really what we would like to do. And
I don't know.
absolutely.
I mean, I really don't know anything, but the Kilauea Lighthouse, I know that made it into some kind of protected public status, and the Trust for Public Lands was a big part of that.
Oh yeah.
And my advisor Marty, he was also the founder of the Trust for Public Lands. So so I have those connections. But I think Mike probably knows whoever's involved in the Kilauea Lighthouse, but it's a thought. That was because that went through I think even U.S. Military ownership for a while or something.
Yeah, it could happen here. Talking to John and everything that's going on right now, a lot of it's kind of beyond my comprehension. Mine is just more studying the environment and knowing the critters and taking movies and showing how beautiful it is or the problems. But at this point in time, there are so many people right now convening here in Kauai all together, working together. We have the best movement that I think's probably happened here in 100 years.
Oh,
We have, which is really profound, the normally happen, but just my private, biological studies of the area, having NOAA and USGS and University of Hawaii openly joint venturing on trying to care for and understand the environment here.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really, really right now coming to a head of people getting together.
Like you're going to get a critical mass to where it's going to actually...
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah,
Terry's the Cecil Adams, like
Yeah.
in Yosemite.
So Joe's been reading this
Okay.
book that I guess I had left it here last time. I'm bringing it home, but it's the Marin and Sonoma lands that
Yeah.
were all preserved, and it was autographed by the author Martin Griffin, and then Skip Schwartz, who is kind of standing by to be the director of the Doc Green Foundation.
Uh-huh.
We just hadn't been ready yet. But
We need to
he did
invite him
30
out here.
years as the Audubon Canyon Ranch guy
Yeah.
Right.
from the beginning. So he's retired, but he likes the Doc Green idea.
He'd love to come out here for a tour.
Oh my God, yeah. But
Yeah.
I think one
but
of
we were just reading that, so there's probably a lot of lessons there, and some of those guys, I mean,
agree.
both Martin, not Marty Rosen, my guy, although they all knew each other, but Martin Griffin
Uh-huh.
and Skip Schwartz would have the knowledge and lessons of doing this,
I agree.
not the sustainable communities, but the preserving of the land
Yep.
that they did in
Marin,
thousands of acres. Yeah,
the Marin
and Sonoma.
Headlands.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll throw it back to both of you.
Yeah,
You're
those
both
guys are around.
You're
so.
both here for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I look at it as like my dad was a really well-known athlete.
Right.
Looking at, and he played baseball, and my grandfather built a Dodger Stadium, believe it or
No,
not.
wow.
Mm.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
And I hated baseball, but I used to always
course
go and
you
sit
did,
in the
right.
box seats and watch it. I always wanted to surf and be in the water. But I look at this as we're putting together a World Series baseball team here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah,
we need a
yeah.
catcher.
And wasn't that what our recent conversation was about? I'm like, John, I was yelling at you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, John, you need to join a team because
That's what it
has
is.
to, only
is.
teams can do things.
Yeah.
It is. This is a team effort. I'm just
Yes.
one part of the team. We
Yeah.
need a first
Yeah.
baseman, shortstop, outfielder,
Right.
umpire, coach, all that stuff.
Yeah,
Mhm.
a lot of outfielders
Yep.
even.
And
Multidisciplinary
right now,
team.
it's not
Right.
my project. It's a worldwide project of people coming in here and adding their expertise to figure out the problems here and to make a model that we can spread to the rest of the world
Absolutely.
and win the World
That's the right
Series.
perspective.
Yep, and I
That's
think we can do
absolutely
it.
That's the mission
can
of this
totally do
that.
research
Yeah.
center that we want to kick off.
No, I'm in. I'm in.
I know this is.
Well,
fun.
thank you
This is
for
really
explaining
cool.
it.
This is
We're looking for a
this
pet
is-
project. We haven't had a first pet
Yeah.
project.
Well, and
for
just
the
that
Doc
you
Green-
were married here too. I
I
mean,
know.
come on,
Yeah.
that is so special. It's insane. You know what Makua is? I mean, or Makana Peak, Bali High.
Oh
I don't-
yes, of course. Yeah, it's in all the wedding photos.
I know, but do you know what it means?
Don't know. Makuna. That's the real name. Makuna.
Makana.
Makana.
Makana
Okay.
Peak.
Makana
Makua is the beach there.
Okay.
Makana Peak means the gift.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Wow. I actually wrote one poem in my life, which is called The Gift.
That's,
So
that's
you're,
what
you're,
it is, huh?
you're seeing the ramifications of your gift.
Yeah.
No, it's beautiful. It's so
Yeah.
special here.
Yeah, it is good stuff.
Yeah. So the Doc Green Foundation. So my this vision that I had started with the Doc Green Foundation, and started off incorporating that. Then starting to pull in the team members. It has to be a community team effort. And the whole idea was nonprofit. It took 3.5 years on a paper battle with the IRS to get the 501c3. 3.5 years, all personally funded.
We've been doing that.
My girlfriend funded about half of it. I funded the other half. So 3.5 years we finally got it. Meanwhile, the whole idea was through this internet to do the Doc Green names. But that's a lucrative business, and the IRS calls that a money. They call a top-level domain a money-generating mechanism. So that's not a nonprofit kind of
I
thing.
know. We've got. We've
So
gone
then we
through
had to start a new company. So then we started the Doc Green Community. I love that name, the Doc Green Community Incorporated. So that's actually a private company, but with a community name. And the Doc Green Foundation, I've kept it strong because the two of them are partners.
Yep.
And so that's kind of the new wave of commerce and economy in the world is partnerships with nonprofits and private sector.
I totally agree to no end. Actually, the neatest thing in the world about NOAA, by the way, NOAA is run from the Department of Commerce.
Okay.
A lot of people
Okay.
don't know that.
Okay.
NOAA's entire
So is-
existence
So,
here.
so was the internet, although it's a multi-stakeholder
Yeah.
model now.
Yeah, NOAA's entire existence is joint venturing with private business. I mean,
Okay,
that's
perfect.
it's
Yep.
it's supposed to promote the ocean and atmospheric studies
Yeah.
along with private business, and
Okay.
that's
And it has a government background too, right?
Yep.
With the
Yep.
military and all that.
Yep.
So in a lot of our writings and how we put our business plan together, it's about getting all the stakeholders, governments, nonprofits, corporates, individuals, SMEs, small, medium enterprises, everybody on dot green, so that they start to see that we're all on this planet together. So we can all be on this internet together.
I agree.
We can all be
we
in
can
green
all be
together.
on the same wavelength together.
The
Also.
same wavelength, yes. Absolutely.
Okay, let's go back.
Yeah.
Only